In this episode, we will talk about our application layout. So if we come to this one, this is the Rive website. You'll see at the top, we have our navbar, and then we have categories, and then in here, at the middle, we'll have our content, and then at the bottom, we'll have our footer. So I want us to get this basic layout done before we get to more complex stuff. So we need to create a navbar, we need to create a footer, and so on. So to add components in a Next13 app, you can add components at each page level because when adding pages, we'll be creating folders for each of the pages. So you can add components at each page level, or you can add a folder called components for different components that you might want to have and structure them there inside folders. It will be basically up to you. So in this case, I'll just add a new folder inside the app called components. And then inside this folder, I'll add yet another folder called nav. So here is where we'll create our different components for the navbar. So let's go ahead and inside the nav folder, add now a file, and we'll call it navbar.tsx. So we are using TypeScript. And then right here, I'll say sfc and hit enter. And this will create a small snippet here, which I can use to fill our component. So I'll say navbar. So for you, it might not work the same because I am using an extension called simple React snippets. So if you want to make use of that shortcut sfc, you can just go to extensions, then search for simple React snippets, this one here, and then you install it, and then you'll be able to make use of that shortcut. Let me show you where it is. This one here, it basically creates a stateless functional component. Okay, here we need to return something, and we can say div, and we can say this is our navbar. So I'll save. Inside components, I can add another folder called footer. And then inside this footer folder, I add a new file and I'll call it footer, and then .tsx, and I'll use a sfc and I'll say footer. Now right here, I'll go ahead and add a div that says footer. So we have created two components, the footer and the navbar. And we can now make use of these components inside our layout.tsx file. Here we had body and here we had children. So what I'll do, I'll just hit enter and I wrap these children with a main tag. So I'll basically say main and I'll pass this children right here. So I'll tab and paste the children here. And I can save. So if I come here, we also had main. So let's change this to just a simple div, okay? So that we only have one main at the layout, okay? Now back to our layout, I'll hit enter here. And here I can add our navbar component above the main. I can say navbar here, and it will be auto imported at the top from our components navbar, and then down here we'll have our footer. I didn't auto import it. I can come back here at the end here before closing, hit control space, and then I'll have the suggestion to auto import it, and we auto import it like that. Okay, so now if I save and come back to our eShop, you'll see now we have navbar, eShop, and footer. But we need the footer to be at the very bottom, navbar to be at the very top, eShop to be at the middle. Now for that, we need to add some styles for these three. And since we'll be adding more components in this particular file, we can wrap these three inside a div so that we add styles for those only, okay? So here I'll add like this, and then I'll save. And right here, I can add a class name, and I'll add some TailwindCSS classes. So we will display flex, then we'll change the flex direction to column, and I'll set the mean height for this div to be screen. So this mean height screen means that it will occupy the viewport height to be the minimum, okay? And then if I save, you'll notice that nothing's happened. But to make it work, we need to come to the main here, which will be our main body. And here we'll add a class name, and we will set flex hyphen grow, like that, for the main to grow, okay? And once I save, now you'll see we have navbar at the top, then we have eShop. So eShop will be right here, then we have footer. So if I happen to give this main a BG color, you'll see where our main is, okay? So BG, I can just say black and save. And look, the whole of this is our main, and this is where we'll be having our main content. So we'll be adding content later. For now, let's just have that. So I'll save. I have just removed the background color. So yeah, this is how our layout will look like. Now, I don't want to use total black for our pages. Therefore, I can come at the body here. I can use backticks here because I want to add some more class names. And then I'll use the money sign to call our variable here, and then use brackets. So here I'll just say text hyphen straight hyphen 700, and then I will save. Now this will not be total black. Cool. So that is it for now.